I know y'all been waiting for this video, and let's get into it. What is going on, guys? So I have a pretty quick story that I wanted to talk about, especially the main focus of it is the sad truth about DistroKid. So you might get what you want out of this video because I want to give some honest opinions about it, because I know a lot of you guys asked me in the comment sections before, and please feel free to ask comments, of course. So leave a comment below and let me know how you feel about DistroKid and your experience about it and how we could take it a little further. And with this opportunity, I definitely want the people that are going to sign up for DistroKid to use the link in the description box, because it will give you 7% off. And then you'll find out that it's pretty darn cheap, even in comparison to the other companies, which I will do a comparison part of this video. Then I'll give my final thoughts on it in case you guys really want to know. So let's get into a backstory here. So last year, I started hearing about DistroKid through a whole bunch of content creators, and I thought to myself, I thought a little leery, because I always question, people's intentions behind their videos or whatnot. And with that, I asked those content creators as well, and they gave me some pretty good thumbs up about DistroKid, and I was like, all right, okay. So then I started exploring like you should, and make sure that you'll go over the plans, and we'll do that as well. We'll go over the different plans that they have. And I just thought to myself, maybe, maybe not. Then a content creator, which is a close friend of mine by the name of Mr. Different, was like, hey, it's $20 a year. And I was like, okay, so it's like Tunecore for like whenever you put out an album. He's like, nah, it's $20 a year and you get unlimited uploads. So that means that you can pour as much content as humanly possible per year that you pay the $20, or even better, because it gets better as you pay for different plans. So yeah, I thought to myself, hey, it might be a good idea. But then I was asked by MSX Audio to be a part of their beat tape. And as you know, I'm a music producer or beat maker, or however you want to call me, however you refer to me as. I do music and I do a lot of beats. And they have a beat tape out there, and it was a huge honor to be a part of that. And they do it through DistroKid. And therefore, when they asked me to be a part of it and I sent my track and they uploaded the track, that's when the biggest part of me deciding to be a part of DistroKid happened. That was that all they had to do was put in my email and it sent all the information. All I did was click on a link and then fill out my information to get my residuals for it. So the big part of that is this. The beat tape itself came out at the end of last year, 2018, and coming into 2019, which is a new quarter, I got a payment. That payment happened to be a little over $500 for a beat tape. So to myself, I was like, no. I got to start putting out more music, and that's what you should do. And that's the main thing that I really like about DistroKid in the long run, is that you have an option to put out music as much as humanly possible and get paid for it without having to go through a performance right company like, ASCAP or BMI. It's just all about you putting your music out there, and it is distributed to all the major streaming sites like Spotify, Apple Music, and etc. So it just makes it really good. And then that's when I also found out why I was paid so well for that. And that's because DistroKid happens to be a preferred company when it comes to digital distribution. So you get verified on Spotify, which is the biggest streaming site right now. And therefore, that means that you will get into the new artist spotlight when you drop music, and you will be able to be discovered, which is the biggest issue for most up-and-coming artists or independent artists, etc. You know how it is when you're out there and you got good music, but nobody is listening to it. So therefore, I realized to myself, let me drop a lot more music. One big secret, not so big secret, is that Spotify prefers instrumentals. A lot of them. There's a lot of people listening to instrumentals. Obviously, with the whole lo-fi beats thing or funk beats or whatever it is, that's a huge market right now, and I really hate to do it, but I guess since I'm talking about DistroKid has priority when it comes to Spotify playlists. So yeah, you might want to think about that when you sign up for like Spotify for artists or whatever, is that DistroKid is one of the biggest ones out there when it comes to distribution. So yeah, And if you are making a lot of beats and stuff like that, and you have unlimited uploads on DistroKid, take full advantage of that, make beat tapes, and see what the results will be. Fast forward to now, and DistroKid asked me to do this video, and I was really happy because that means that not only is my music being discovered, DistroKid notices that I have a great movement over here. So therefore, I'm getting on the ball to do a whole bunch of other things and then bringing other people to this platform because it makes it really easy to collaborate with a lot of people. Even if they have their own original music, I can do a playlist and have everybody on there. And then everybody can be happy because we're all making money, which is important to being an artist, and as well as putting out more music, and collaborations and compilations can be done without a huge hassle. And then there's other things that make DistroKid very special as well, because they have just added TikTok to the different distribution platforms and stuff like that. So therefore, you can put as much content out there on TikTok, and we all know how that went with Lil Nas X and Old Town Road. It's a very important platform now, and it has been. So yeah, now you can have your stuff being counted towards you, and you can increase your revenue through DistroKid via TikTok. So if you're one of the young kids out there that usually get on the TikTok and, have a good time, now DistroKid will count TikTok as a huge part of your streaming revenue. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the plans, because I think you guys need to understand how the plans work, and we'll compare it to other companies as well. So let's go ahead and look at the plans, because this is what solidified it for me outside of being able to sign up really quickly and get my revenue. Man, I'm so glad I signed up for this. So the first thing is the musician plan, which is $19.99 a year. It doesn't have a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it has enough, because you have unlimited upload of your songs, and then you can upload lyrics as well, unlimitedly. And then you also have the Spotify verified check mark, which is important because it's important to look very important to the music listeners out there as a legitimate source of music. So that's really good. And then you can collect your earnings. So that's really important as well, because why would you put your music out there and you not be able to get paid for it? And then you have the Musician Plus plan, which is the plan that I have. I can't deny that, and that is $35.99 a year and 2 artists, band names. I'm probably going to move up to the label one because I want to do more music with other people and have a lot of music just out there. Of course, they add a whole bunch of stuff, especially with the stats. That's very important because you want to see, how many people are playing your music, and then you can customize your label name and have pre-orders and different things that will help with distributing your music. So that just makes DistroKid that important. So for a lot of people, I know there's a lot of people out there that always ask, what is the difference between DistroKid and Tunecore? So they have this graph right here, and it makes a lot of sense. And just to break it down to you or paraphrase, you do pay Tunecore about $49.99 per album per year. So you have to continuously do that, and that's for an album. That's not unlimited uploads. So if you look at that and you see DistroKid, and I know that everybody's not into the whole subscription-based thing, but when you look at being able to upload as much music as humanly possible, meaning that you can double, triple, quadruple your revenue depending on how well you're doing on the different streaming sites, which streaming is like 90% of how music is heard these days, because you're not going to walk into a Best Buy and buy an album these days unless it's like vinyl or something like that. But then you can take your revenue and start doing things like that as well. And as you can see, when you release stuff on Tunecore, that the price will go up as far as you paying per year. And that, can be a huge issue there. Then if we looked at like DistroKid versus like CdBaby, and then you want to ask like which is cheaper, DistroKid will still be cheaper because DistroKid is allowing you to upload as much music as humanly possible. If you use CdBaby and you drop an album, you're going to have to pay per album or per single. And then on top of that, you have to fill out more information. And then that's the other thing that DistroKid does very well. It's very plain and simple, friendly user interface. And that makes up for a better experience per se if you are just uploading music versus you having to fill out performance rights, then to have to chase down your ID for your ASCAP or BMI and all that. And you can get paid, plain and simple. And I'll have all this information in the description box too as well, so you can read it on your own. But I'm just paraphrasing all this information here, and you can see that again DistroKid wins in this regard. So tell me how you feel about this information, because I wanted to, just tell you my story as well, what my experience with DistroKid and the reason why I'm at where I'm at as far as being sponsored by DistroKid for this video. And the reason why I got sponsored by DistroKid is because I was making a lot of waves musically on DistroKid this year. My streams have been up and it's been crazy. And I really do appreciate DistroKid for having a service like this, and then for the opportunity as well. But it was all made possible because all I did was make a beat tape of all things, and then realize, hey, well, I can get a lot of plays on DistroKid, and then releasing more music on DistroKid, and was like, dang, well, perhaps I can do a lot more. And this makes for a good ecosystem as well, because when you collaborate with other people, they don't have to go through all this paperwork chase down or anything like that. It's as simple as having a PayPal account or a bank account or something like that, and then DistroKid will pay you via that way versus going through like ASCAP or BMI or any other performance rights company or something like that. Or even if you're signed to a record label, a major record label, then you can see your numbers yourself and see why you made this amount of money and see what you're doing very well on what platform and all that. And that is useful information so you can make better decisions as an artist. And it's not something where you have to be an exec to realize these type of numbers. They're very simple to do. So with that, let me know in the comments how you feel about DistroKid. If you want another video about DistroKid, I got a few others as well as talking about digital distribution and how you can do exactly what I'm doing and actually have some success with it as well. Let me know how you feel.